Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ismail, or you can call me Ismasha. This is me. I am a political commentator and a writer. This is my first video on YouTube. In this channel, I'm going to focus and help you understand social, political, and economic affairs in Kenya. And sometimes we are going to explain other related matters. So in this particular video, we are going to stick on politics. Today I am going to explain and give scientific rationality on why Raila Odinga doesn't really need the support of Kalonzo Musyoka to become president. And just for a disclaimer, I don't have any biasness on any leader. In this channel, we solely base our judgment on facts, evidences, and proof. And you, the viewers, will judge by yourself. But before we dive into the analysis, if you are watching this video for the first time, I urge you to kindly click on the subscription button and hit on the notification bell so that whenever I post a similar video, you will get notified. And if you enjoy this particular video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. Thanks. Now without further ado, let's dive in. They say that politics shapes our future and it cannot be ignored. Over the last week or so, there has been quite a few political happenings. To name a few, we had Deputy President William Ruto talking against leaders ganging up together to defeat one leader. There has also been a tussle of words between ODM leader Raila Odinga and the Wiper chairperson Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. But why do I assert that Baba should not worry if Kalonzo Musyoka will not support him? Well, let's dissect it, shall we? Number 1. Numbers. Politics is all about numbers. Political power is supplied by the people, and it is a duty of a politician to sell his policies and seek for those numbers of supporters in order to gain power. Between Right Honorable Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka, who attracts more numbers? To answer that query, let's go back to historical track records of numbers between the two, because they say history characterizes current politics. Let's start with Raila Odinga. Raila has contested for the presidential seat 4 times in 1997, 2007, 2013, and 2017. In 1997, Raila contested, to which he came third on the National Development Party ticket, NDP. In 2007, he bid for the presidential seat again under the Orange Democratic Party, ODM. He landed on the runners-up position with a total of 4.3 million votes. On 2013, Raila still managed to grab the runners-up position, this time with a total of 5.3 million votes on a court ticket. As you can see, his supporters were still intact and they increased in numbers compared to 2007. Then in 2017, Raila Odinga again came second with a popular vote of 6.8 million. What is the point of me showing you all this? See, from 2007 up to 2017, we can see Raila coming second with his voters increasing every electioneering period. That speaks volumes. In Kenya, it is very tough for a presidential candidate to maintain that kind of consistency, accompanied by ever-rising voter base. It is a big plus for Raila. Let us dissect Manstivo Kalonzo. See, Kalonzo only ran for president in 2007 when he decamped from ODM to form ODM Kenya. Many advised him against that decision, but it fell on deaf ears for Kalonzo Musyoka. 2007 election came as a huge defeat for Kalonzo, coming third with 879,903 votes, which translated to 9%. With that embarrassment landing on his shoulder, he decided to go back and rejoin his fellow powerful mate in 2013 up to 2017. Guess who it was? Yes, you guessed it right. Raila Odinga. Some might say the profile of Kalonzo Musyoka helped Raila in 2013 and 2017. Well, you have a point, but the defeat of Kalonzo in 2007 when he decided to run alone shows that he's still under the political shadows of Raila Odinga. Furthermore, ask yourself, after Kalonzo was defeated mercilessly in 2007, why did he not leave Raila again? For all intents and purposes, Kalonzo has to stick with Raila in order to avoid irrelevancy, because irrelevancy in politics is a total no-go zone for any politician. And your guess can be as good as mine if Kalonzo decides to take the 2022 presidential bid all by himself. The only drawback for Kalonzo is his inability to introspect and predict what is going to happen going forward. In fact, back in 2007, he would have been in a much better position if he supported Mr. Odinga, since his 9% could have added up and together they would have clinched the victory. Kalonzo should learn from the words of Winston Churchill on politics. Churchill, in his words, and I quote, said, "A politician needs the ability to foretell what is going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month, and the next year, and to have the ability afterwards to explain why it did not happen." Number 2, the type of voters. In political science, there are two types of audiences: traditional audience and supporters. The audiences in this case represents the voters. What is the difference between the two? First, the traditional audience includes voters who vote for one political leader throughout every electioneering period. They never change their minds. They will continue voting for that candidate whatever the cost, even if that candidate loses or wins. The traditional audience are also called followers. The second audience, which are the supporters in this case, can choose to support or not to support their preferred candidates. You may find a supporter backing a certain political figure for the first time in office, but then they decide to opt for another political leader in the next election. Judging by the track record, one can confidently say that Raila definitely has the backing of the traditional audience. The reason being, his followers voted for him, giving him the runners-up position 3 times without backing off. This makes Raila a force to reckon with in the Kenyan politics. Kalonzo Musyoka, on the other hand, has supporters, but in the contrary, those same supporters might change their minds into not backing him in the 2022 presidential elections. If you study the voting patterns in Kenya, most voters prefer to choose a coalition or a candidate who is most likely to win the election. For example, in 2007, when Kalonzo decided to run for presidency, supporters of Kalonzo were not confident enough to support him since they knew Raila's ODM was the most prominent and he, Raila, had a higher probability of winning than Kalonzo. In addition, we can further assess the nature of Kalonzo's dynamic supporters by a concept in politics known as behaviorism. This concept was traced back to a political scientist known as Charles Merriam. Merriam states that it is significant to observe an individual's behavior by collecting data. Notably, behaviorists make use of statistical and mathematical data to observe an individual. Rationalizing by this dogma, we can see the behavior of Kalonzo Musyoka lingers towards Raila Odinga. The elasticity of Kalonzo's political behavior produces vast consequences, either negative or positive, and this depends on the decision he makes. For instance, mathematically, his supporters dropped in numbers in 2007 when he decided to run for presidency by himself. That was a negative consequence from his behavior. Statistically speaking, Kalonzo's political strength increases when he sides with none other than Raila Odinga. This is a lesson Kalonzo should learn. Number 3. Popularity. Who is more popular between Raila and Kalonzo? This is a very vital question since politics revolves around the confines of popularism. If we approach it from the angle of approval and acceptability all over the country, Raila checks every box. Baba's approval swims across the country, even in parts of Kalonzo's Ukambani region. That evidence is made stronger by how diverse communities voted for Raila over the last elections. For Kalonzo's case, you can bet he gets groundswell approval from the Ukambani demographic. But does he appear popular in other parts of the country? The answer to that is no. But if your answer is in the affirmative, then do an arithmetic comparison between Kalonzo and Raila. You will probably conclude that Kalonzo doesn't really surpass or even come close to the popularity of Raila across the country. To give credit to where it's due, Kalonzo can perfectly say currently he is the kingpin. However, it is difficult to name Raila a Luo kingpin. This is because he has followers from each and every part of the country. The suitable name for that kind of a politician is a statesman. Another aspect of popularism is the charismatic power that Raila possesses. Charismatic power is referred to as the extent to which a leader entices and lures voters to his side or her side. Babaman knows exactly which button to press whenever he seeks for approval from the audience. Similarly, Kalonzo can also do the same, but we are talking about levels here. Just like when you climb stairs within a building. The stairs has levels. Each level represents a different position, and it is impossible to have same levels of stairs if one needs to climb to the top floor of the building. In politics, there are levels to everything, ranging from power, attributes, skills, and experience. Evidently, we can clearly see that Raila doesn't really need Kalonzo's endorsement for presidency. Agwambo just needs his followers and his charismatic power, but again, age is catching up with him. For Kalonzo, it will be prudent enough for him to resurrect and upgrade his relevancy through Raila if he really wants to venture into higher political levels. I will end with a quote that says, "We are free to make choices, but we are not free from consequences." My people, thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, do give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.